Welcome to this special YouTube-only edition of One-on-One with Mitch Lafon. Joining me this week is vocalist Alex Dugan of Austin five-piece The Vanity. Their new EP is called Strangers. It was mixed by Kevin Killen, who has worked with U2, Bon Jovi, Elvis Costello, and many more. No co-hosts on these YouTube editions, so let's get right into my interview with Alex Dugan. Here's Alex. We are speaking with Alex Dugan of The Vanity, an Austin-based five-piece. Good day, Alex. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How about you?
Good, good. So you've got this new EP, Strangers. I've been listening to it. It's some great stuff. Are you still listening to it?
Thanks. Yeah, well, I kind of try to avoid it sometimes because we play it so much, but I definitely am still listening to it through practice and shows and all that.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it's been great.
Tell me a little bit about trying to get a band like The Vanity off the ground in today's market. It doesn't seem as obvious as maybe the 1970s or 1980s.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not as unrock and roll as it is. We're a pretty business centric band. I mean, you have to treat your band like a business. If you want your band to be, a $1 million band or whatever, it's the same thing as starting a $1 million company. You have to treat it as such. So you really have to take everything into account and cover all bases. And I think the reality is that it's just the market is oversaturated with all sorts of things because of a lack of willingness for labels to take funding risks on new talent. It's just because unless you have some kind of traction from YouTube or whatever the heck it is, whatever the flavor of the month kind of thing is that day, it's hard to get any attention, which is interesting. So you have to take some creative approaches and kind of think about non-traditional as well as traditional business ventures when it comes to the band, which is it's interesting going through that. I mean, there's 1,001 ways to do it, but there's only one correct path, which makes it tricky and challenging. But it's a fun challenge. I'll say that.
Yeah, and the other thing is that one correct path changes from band to band and artist to artist. It's not the same path for everybody, right? So
yeah.
tell me about Strangers. It's an EP. Was that a business decision to go with EP rather than full album, or are full albums sort of yesterday's relic?
Well, we kind of were looking at bands that we really liked that were kind of coming out with stuff right now, and it just kind of seemed, people digest music so quickly that it's just like, well, if I put out 12 songs and you're done with them in about a month, then why not put out 3 songs and have you be done with them, in a month later, and then have another 3 songs waiting for you, kind of thing, which is not my ideal way to do things, because
Right.
I like the way that albums are. They're complete works of art or music or whatever you want to call them, or shit, whatever you want to call them.
I would say it's a work of art. I mean, I don't know why just the Mona Lisa is a work of art. I mean, albums are art.
Well, I literally, I just came back from Paris and saw the Mona Lisa for the first time. I was
There you go.
on vacation. I got to say, I wasn't able to get very close to it. It was surrounded by tourists, but it's a little underwhelming, I got to be honest. But beyond that,
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Things can be, and it's actually kind of a good transition almost. Things can be overhyped and things can be underhyped and so forth. I mean, my favorite stuff, just kind of, at least from a music standpoint and art standpoint, everything is the kind of things that you're not expecting to stumble across.
Right.
But that's not really the way the business, at least music-wise, works. I mean, it's just that you have to make a lot of noise, and if you're going to make a lot of noise, you have to be ready to receive the praise or the BS or whatever the hell is going to come, and you just kind of have to be ready for it. But the reality is it's a business like any other, and you have to just treat it as such. And if you handle everything professionally, then and of course if you're good, that helps. So
Yeah. So
sometimes if you're not good, it's okay. But
well, listen, there's a lot of not good that seems to be celebrity fodder. But let's get away from business for a second. You're from Austin. I'm up in Montreal, Canada. Why or what should people know about the Vanity? What kind of music are you doing? Listen, to put it bluntly, why should anybody care?
Well, I mean, you know, we set out to create the music
Right.
that we wanted to hear,
Hmm.
and we personally felt that the music that's kind of out there is not necessarily representative of what we wanted to hear.
Agreed.
And I think we just came at it from that standpoint. I mean, I there's very few things that I'll ever like, and there's very few things that the same thing with the guys, and we all like different things, and we kind of come together. I mean, it's really weird that we'll listen to kind of alternative type stuff, and we can get into the to the older acts. We can get in. We're big Stones fans and
Yep.
U2 fans and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'll catch David rocking out to Charlie XCX before shows. I mean, he just like we're all over the place. But I mean, for us, we went and created the music that we wanted to hear, that we felt people wanted to hear. And so far the response has been great. It's one of those things where, not to go back to the business, but we kind of play our stuff for people, and it's like, well, it's different, but it's good different. So people are either going to really like it or they're not. And it's like, okay, great. So it's kind of a swinging for the fences thing. But it's great, and I really enjoy the music that we do. And I mean, the most fun is getting to sit and come up with new stuff and
Right.
play shows. And sometimes we'll take a little break, like we took about a week and a half off recently. I mean, like just now, like we're heading back to practice, and I can't tell you how excited I am to get back today. Like it's one of those things. I was on vacation or whatever, and I was just trying to find like an instrument. I was like, I just want to play an instrument, like just trying to find something, But it's yeah, I mean, everything we do is just something that we feel is just not out there.
And
And
it's
so we're
nice
just
to
trying
hear.
to.
Sorry, it's nice to hear somebody that still has the passion for it, because I also interview a lot of artists that have had 30, 40 years careers, and sometimes they're like, oh, I can't wait just to get to the pool, or just to get, like they seem to be different. They seem to want to get away from their instruments. What would you compare yourselves to? I mean, I was listening to Cowboy Killer and Black and Blue and River, and I thought the songs were very catchy. Except I just couldn't identify. I mean, I don't know. What would you consider yourself to be like?
Yeah, I mean it's hard to identify. We get a lot of references, and I never we get so many references that I don't understand where they come from.
What's the one that comes up the
Um,
most?
uh, okay, so we just did a bunch of shows with Cold War Kids in
Okay.
Texas, and we had a bunch of reviews come through, and one person said that it was like James Dean if he was the front man for a southern punk rock band. And I was like, what? I was like, where did that come from? And then another one said that it was like Rick Springfield if he was jamming with Sunny Day Real Estate. And I was like, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, but hell, I'll take it as long as they're saying something positive. It's
Yeah.
we get references all over the place. We all have our influences, but it's so funny because we'll get some kind of reference, and one of us will be like, "Oh, that's awesome," and the other of us will be like, "Well,"
Yeah.
because we're all into so many different things that it never. But I think that's what's good about the band, is that we all come from different places and we all hear things differently. And once we all settle, because the writing process in the band is completely intensive in the sake that it's we're all in the room. We do everything in the room together, and it's a lot of the songs get kind of jammed into being. Like River. We just showed up one day to practice, and all of a sudden the song was just there. And I pretty much already knew what the lyrics were, and everybody pretty much knew where all the sections were, and we never played it before. None of us had ever heard it before. We just kind of showed up, plugged in, and all of a sudden the song was there.
It fell together.
And a lot of the times it starts like that, or someone will come in with one part, and all of a sudden everybody just kind of hears what they want that next part to do, which is really weird, but it's super cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we get references all over the place, but I like to remain as unique as we possibly can, I guess.
Yeah, and even if you look at who mixed it there, Kevin Killen, he's worked with U2, Bon Jovi, and Elvis Costello, three bands
And
that are
Bowie,
definitely
yeah.
not in the same genre. So you
Yeah.
can see that there's some kind of eclectic stuff going on, which is great.
Yeah, well, Kevin's obviously extremely accomplished, but he's also very eclectic himself. And I mean, just working with him, like he just heard our stuff, like all of a sudden was like, "Yeah, I want to work with you guys." And we're like, "Really?" We were kind of shocked because to us he was like above us kind of thing. And we're super lucky to have the opportunity to work with him. And we're actually going back to work on a new EP pretty soon here with him as the producer, which is I'm really, really excited about. But yeah, I mean, he does a lot of stuff with U2, who I really love, and Bowie and all those kind of people, and it's just like a little surreal for us, but I got to be honest with you, it's awesome. So,
Yeah, it really is.
but
Now, of course, if you could call up Bono or Bowie and have them guest on your album, that'd be even better, right?
oh yeah, or even if we could just hop on tour with them, I'm all game for it.
You're
I'd be
all
game for just shaking one of their hands. I'll take that.
I'll finish with this. Is there a full album coming, or are you just going to do the EPs for the next little bit?
Well, we're gonna keep, every time we write new music, we expand and we grow,
Okay.
and the sound changes and stuff like that. But we're working on this next EP. What comes from there is really up to us, which is kind of the nice thing about being completely independent and being able to control what we want to do. It's really artistically and commercially. I mean, to be honest, how we feel. So we'll see. We're really excited about this new EP that we're going to start recording. We're excited about the EP that's out now, obviously.
Yeah.
But, we're just constantly writing and coming up with stuff. And at a certain point, if we look at ourselves and go, hey, we've got, 10 or 12 tracks, then, then the full thing will come out,
Yeah, and I certainly hope to get a chance to see you. Hopefully, you'll make it up to Montreal at some point. Alex, a great pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was Alex Dugan of The Vanity. The new album is called Strangers. You can head over to thevanity.com for more information. There you go, folks. Thank you. Cheers.